Jambo, and welcome to this session where I have guests come here and we try to find out who and what they are when they are not working. Today's guest is a friend of mine, Robert BURALE. Karibu sana, Robert.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Asante sana.
Yeah.
It's good to be here.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
Now, you are a man of many talents or skills.
Am
or,
I?
Huh?
Am I?
I think so. I mean,
Yes.
from what we see.
Right.
But as I said, I'm always so curious to find out who a person is when they are not working.
Right.
You know? But at the end of the day, work makes a big part of who we are as a people. So we can just probably start with you telling us who you are. Mm-hmm. And then now we'll just switch and talk about, I don't know whether to call it the fun stuff, but
Okay.
who you are and what you are when you're not working.
I want to have some fun, actually.
Okay,
All right.
cool.
What do? I'm a minister of the gospel at the House of Grace International. I run the Arabic company, the Red Bolt company. It's PR and marketing trainings. I am an author. I'm working on my 4th book right now.
Okay.
I run the Men of Valor project. It's a men's movement. And the Naked Truth, both men and women, but primarily for men and women who feel that God cannot use them or they can never recover. So those are the ones we come and just try to mentor them into being great men and women of society. Mm-hmm. I'm an actor. I love acting. Yeah, that's me in a nutshell, really.
In a nutshell.
Yes.
You see, I was right when I said you're so many things.
Right? Oh, and I'm a father, of course, to the most beautiful girl.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a greatest gift, right?
Yes.
Now, first of all, you look very good.
Thank you.
And I'm always very keen on appearances. Mm-hmm. And I know one of your titles is you're like an image consultant.
Yes,
so
yes.
what does that entail? And how has that been in Kenya?
The image consultancy business took time to pick up in this country.
But before that, what is that? What is
It is
image
just the art
consultancy?
of having the right identity. Many people mistake image as just how you look on the outside. Well, you may look good on the outside, but still dying on the inside. So the direction I take is I work on the inside, and then you wear well on the outside, having started on the inside. So many people think, if you ask 10, 9 will tell you it's how you look. Well, that's a major part of image. But how you look and how you feel must go hand in hand. So for what I do in that area, it's not just how to combine your outfits based on your skin tonation and all those things, but let me work on you on the inside. And then when we work on the outside, it's just a manifestation of who you are on the inside.
They gel together.
Yeah, it's like giving a drunk man, a woman out there, a Giorgio Armani suit and tell them walk around. They'll be falling all over the place. They will not know how to carry themselves. Yeah.
What if I'm a master of hiding whatever is inside and then the outside is perfect? All put together, looking good. How do you is it not even address, how do you help such a person?
You can be a private person, which there's nothing wrong with that. But running away from yourself by hiding who you are or what you're going through is like running from yourself, and then after 20 meters, you want to stop to take a break, thinking that you've left the person behind. And guess who's waiting for you right there? It is you.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And many people live a life of desperation and disappointment when they try. And I lived like that for a while in my life, where I don't want to deal with that. But I was very unhappy. Mm-hmm. I'd go to my house and I'm very, very unhappy. But on the outside, everybody wants to be like you. But when you go back home, you're like, I don't want to be me. Until the day I decided to deal with myself. And all these things started blossoming to a point, this is just off the cuff, to a point where if somebody does not like you, it doesn't offend me at all. Mm-hmm. It used to offend me. Okay. Until I made peace with my inside. I'm one man you can insult for 3 hours and I'll look at you for 3 hours and smile. And then walk away from your presence.
Yeah.
Having not lost anything that is in me. So it's very important for us to converge and center ourselves. Yeah.
I think that's a very broad topic. If we were to get into that, we'll talk.
Know, right? Yeah.
We'll talk for hours and
Absolutely.
hours. So how was that received, the image consultants? How was it received in Kenya? And how long have you done that?
Image consultants you've done for over 10 years.
Okay.
It is an industry that has not really picked, to be honest. So I don't do it for business. I do it just to help people find themselves. So that when I die, some people will say, you know what? He helped me find myself.
Okay.
But for business, to be honest with you, I would not advise my child or somebody I'm mentoring to go full on into image consultancy as the only source of income. The Africans just say, you know what? I dress well, I know how to combine my outfits. Get out. So not many people in this side would pay money to be taught one or two of these things. But I do have clients outside there.
Why do you think, and I think the middle class can afford your services?
Yes.
Why we're not keen to
Affording is one thing,
pay?
but how we have been raised is another thing.
Okay.
We have been cultured to say, you know what, I know how I look. So what I've done, I lean more towards working on somebody on the inside. So even if they wear something plain, they feel good about themselves. Yeah. But I do have clients who say, I'm a politician,
Yeah.
I'm a CEO,
Yeah.
I'm a public person, and I give speeches. So help me. This is a serious function. What colors and how should I dress based on your height and your body weight and body size? So we have clients who do that.
Is that appreciated in
It
Kenya?
is, yes. For the people that we work with, absolutely. Absolutely. What people don't realize, Lillian, is that colors speak a lot. There's what we call nonverbal communication, and it's sometimes louder than verbal communication. If you're going to speak at a funeral, for me as a pastor, I cannot go there with bright colors. What am I telling those people? It's not a celebration.
I beg to differ.
Yes, you're celebrating life.
Yes.
But you want to be seen that you're feeling what the family is feeling, the loved ones. You understand? Imagine coming with a luminous jacket. And I'm the pastor.
Okay, that might be too
Yes,
bright.
yes, yeah. As long as you stand out there, you are dressed by the way you're dressed. If your boss has called you for a disciplinary meeting, wear blue and brown. It works on somebody's mind.
Yeah.
It lowers their anger.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
yes, yes. So those things that
Yeah.
people take for granted, but yet it is actually $1 billion industry.
It is,
in Europe
yeah.
and America. Yes.
What do you think about, I'd probably talk about the people in the public sector, the guys we see, their ties are not well done, they have, shirts that are too tight,
No, they need a lot of help.
pants that are too
Oh,
long.
trust me. If I was to start that, first I would go to the political class.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, they need a lot of help.
Yeah.
Many, very few. I would say less than 10%. I would give them a tick in as far as
Even 5.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just being pastoral
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yeah, but the majority do need a lot of help on public etiquette, dressing, how to behave. When you go for a meeting out there, I one time saw a photo of some of our leaders a few years ago in a meeting, and the other side had papers and notebooks and they were taking notes, and our guys are just looking like this. So some of these things need to be taught. How to carry yourself, how to speak, even how to use the microphone. I saw a leader coughing on the microphone.
Yeah.
You understand? How to use the fork and knife when you go for these meetings.
Yeah.
Small things that have far-reaching repercussions, especially if you are meeting guys in Europe. You can easily lose a deal because of table manners.
How come we're not, it's not part of our upbringing?
I think we look at the generation, there was a time where all our parents wanted was get an education. If you get an education, it will open all doors for you. But we're getting into a time where it's not just about getting an education. How do you carry that education? So I think we need, and we are actually slowly but surely changing the narrative, that people now understand the need to look good, to speak well. I have people that I teach how to speak on the speed, tonal variation, how to take a pause. Obama got into people's hearts, not with his policy. It's how he spoke.
How he spoke,
And he was president for 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. The issue of
And let me just
image.
add, yes, he also sold his policies, but people accepted him fast.
Yeah, like we wanted to listen to
Yes,
him and what
that's
he's
it.
saying,
Absolutely.
Yeah, like he pulled us in.
Yes,
The image topic is so broad.
right.
And I'm always so bothered. My dad was in the tourism industry. So when we were growing up, we'd have all these lunches with these tourists.
Of course.
So I know about etiquette, I know about grooming. So I'm always so bothered when I go somewhere and people are eating in a funny way. people are talking to you so close to you,
and there's food in the mouth.
It's just, I guess, so irritated.
Yeah.
But, I think probably maybe our kids or maybe our generation, we're able to teach people how to
It's
behave in
happening,
public.
Yeah.
It is.
There'll be a generational change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be good to see. About public speaking.
Right.
Now, I've been in the public limelight for a while, but I'm
Still
a
are.
horrible. Okay. But I'm a horrible public speaker. Yes. Because when I look at the good speeches that have been done over time, I think I'm like 1 out of 10. So I'm actually currently taking my lessons in Toastmasters.
Okay. Toastmasters is a good place to go.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tell me about public speaking and how just tell me about it, how it's coming along.
Public speaking is about communication.
Where the love started.
I just loved the sound of my own voice when I was a kid.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I'm Luya, but I have some Luo blood in me. Whereby in Kiswahili we say kujichocha.
It's important.
So I look at myself in the mirror and I speak as if I'm the president. You understand what I'm saying?
I sound good.
Yes. And I would pat myself in the back. And slowly but surely, one time my dad told me, son, you're such a good speaker. And he would tell me, take this newspaper and read it aloud for me. And he would really praise me. Maybe I didn't speak well at that time, but he knew what he was doing because it gave me the desire to want now to speak more and more. I have never been to any public speaking school, but what I did for 8 months, every day for 45 minutes, I spoke to an empty sitting room.
Okay.
Every day for 8 months.
When was this, when you were younger?
Oh, yeah. And now here we are.
Younger, I mean in primary school?
Oh, no.
Or late?
I didn't even finish high school.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And after about 4 months, I started seeing people in that sitting room. It's like I was starting seeing a crowd.
Yeah.
And I remember one time somebody just resigned, used to work for me because she found me speaking to myself.
It's a big
and I
problem.
think she thought this guy can kill me at night.
Yeah.
This guy's a psycho.
Yeah.
So the love for public speaking is I have a desire to make people understand what is on my inside. Like when I talk to young people, I want them to really understand the burden I have for them. When I talk to men, I want them to understand the burden. So I knew you may carry something, but if you cannot articulate the issue, you will die with it. Imagine it's like a black man in a dark room winking at a black woman and expecting a reaction. Nothing will happen.
Nothing is working.
Yeah.
You said your dad probably picked up that you had a very good voice.
Yes.
And I think now that I'm older, I strongly believe that public speaking is a skill that we all need to have. But now your dad was keen to point that out for
Yes.
you. How is it in Kenya in our schools? Do people look out for talent and enhance that, not just books, pass your exams,
Right.
How is that
Sadly,
in Kenya?
Lillian, is we have pushed our kids to book, pass your exam and you'll make it. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's why they go to school. But you also must look at their talents. A few schools have invited me to go and speak to their students about public speaking. It is of absolute importance because, number one, not all kids will be number one in school. Like all our
For
parents
sure.
were all number one. I don't know who's number last. But we need to get to a place where we pick the gifts and the talents these young people have. There are some people, when I look at some of the greatest men and women we have, some of them never went very fine as far as their education was concerned. But out of their gift and talents, that somebody somewhere picked it and says, you know what, let me push you more into this direction. And I hope and I feel that we need, and government needs to think about it, whereby there is, maybe on a Friday afternoon, every school in this country, no lessons, it's gifts and talents. And some people 10 years from now will say, thank God that my gift was nurtured, flamed, and now I'm making waves and creating impact and making money out of my gift. But it's books. You drive in Nairobi at 5:30 in the morning. You will see very young kids
I've never understood
carrying
that.
bags,
Yeah.
going to school. I think that is the reason many people hate school.
Yeah. That's too early also.
That's too early.
But what about if I feel I don't have a gift, I don't have a talent, so there's nothing to tap?
Everybody has.
I've seen people say, I don't have a talent. I don't know what I'm good in. There's nothing I'm good in. So
now,
what if you met such a person, a kid in primary school, how do you challenge them or help them discover their talent?
Number one is to tell them that is wrong. Number two is to discover to find out why they said that. Some it's because their parents or somebody in authority told them you're good for nothing, you're useless. When men say you're as foolish as your mother, I don't know why they say that. Or women say you're as foolish as your father.
Yeah, and late women, we are so bright.
Yeah. Of course. When you drum that into a child, they now believe it. It's like if two people are dating and I tell you I love you 3 times a day. After 2 months, you'll be like, hang on a minute, he actually loves me. But when you tell a kid there's nothing good that can come, they said of Jesus, nothing good can come out of Nazareth. And that's why he did not perform a lot of miracles there. You understand? So then you work on the root cause, not on what you see. And you wonder, so what did you do? What did your father ever tell you? My father, I even tell my friends, my biggest regret is that my father did not live long enough to see the manifestation of some of the things he told me when I was growing up. But it's of such importance, especially for parents, to be the first ones to speak life. And you got to be attentive, actually from the age of 2. That is when you know, my son, my daughter, this is a creative mind. This is a deep thinker. And then push them on that. If your kid is a thinker, look at them and says, what are you thinking? And then they articulate it. Why are you saying that? At the age of 5. Why are you saying that? At the age of 7. Why do you think that is? At the age of 11. What do you think we should do? By the time that kid is 13, he or she is ahead of their peers.
True.
A 13-year-old with the mind of an 18-year-old. And the sad thing is that they are 18-year-olds with the mind of a 10-year-old. So we find out the root cause because everybody has a gift and a talent. Everybody on the face of this earth.
You believe so?
Yes, 100%. There's something.
Yeah, there's something. We just need to pull it out.
Yeah.
My boy is 2 years, so I think now I'll be paying close attention to what he's good in.
Yes.
Yeah?
Especially what they're doing with their hands.
Yeah.
What they like when something comes on TV. Just pay such attention because right there, you'll start seeing what you need now to fuel them towards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about talent, we just had the Olympics last month, and it just shows if you enhance people's talents, you reap so much out of it.
Yes.
For Kenya, we just have the athletes. We are not good in fencing. There's somebody fencing, all these other sports.
Right.
So going back to that discovery of talent, what can be done nationwide? That way, in the next Olympics or probably the one after, we're able to field more people in terms of sports. Because I think we're really good in many things.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The way we've devolved government. So every county must have talent searches. And then it culminates with one national day whereby a county says we have 2 guys who can sing, 2 ladies who can do this. Then one day at Uhuru Park, with president and government there, we come and showcase what these people are doing. So what does that do? The people from Busia, where I come from, will want their kids to be there next year. Then they'll start paying attention to their children. Once that is our mindset, we'll have people everywhere wanting to get the best out of their children. But even before I go to government, our homes, parents have become too busy.
We are too busy, yeah.
What is raising our children? Phones, internet. That is why if you ask a child, what would you like to be when you grow up? Most girls will tell you a name of a slave queen. You understand what I'm saying?
That's terrible.
And the young boys will tell you a name of those, let me not mention names, but I think the biggest demon we have in this country is that we think the people who should mentor us, these are the young people, are people who are visible. Anybody can be famous, but very few people are great. Somebody says, not every famous person is great, but every great person is famous. If I want to be famous, I'll strip naked, dance on TikTok. But that does not make me a great person. So it's also to inculcate the values that being famous is not the epitome or is not the standard measure of being successful. What are they famous for? You understand what I'm saying? So family, like your son is too. trust me, your voice will shape him. As parents, what you say, I believe in you. You are great. You will be the best. When they start hearing that, everything around them starts working towards what you as a parent are saying.
Yeah.
And then when he's 10, people are wondering, hey, this kid is so sharp. What happened? The secret was home, and then government, and then church. Even as a church, in our church, we have times where we call, and we tell this young, our preachings are very practical. Not just Hebrew meaning and Greek meaning, no, practicalities, so that we have a balanced society. But now we have what we call a TikTok generation, twerking and dancing. That is the highest level of success.
Yeah. That's quite concerning.
Very.
But why do we have the need to be famous?
Lack of identity.
Okay.
Lack of identity. Just before I came here, I was telling a friend of mine, there's an age you reach and you should never want to be famous, but want to have influence.
Okay.
Where people trust in your word or the grace that you carry. And I'm using the word grace and not branding. You know, people say, I am a brand. I don't know why people say that. Anybody who calls himself a brand, number one, is not a brand.
They're not a brand.
No, not at all. I am a brand. I am a brand. I cannot come to the function on time. No, sit down, get to know who you are, and then come back. Stop behaving like the Manchester United defense. Looking good, but when the balls comes, just on goals. You understand? So it's fame is like a drug because we're in the digital era. That's why everybody checks after posting a photo how many people have commented, how many people have liked. If there are only 2 comments, then you say we are living in a toxic world. Parents are competing with social media, and social media is winning because we have become too busy investing for our children and not in our children. So in another 10 years, if we go on like this, we shall have more rehab centers than libraries.
Yeah.
And kids have tired necks, tired fingers.
Because of using the phone,
but empty brains.
True.
Yeah.
That's challenging. Talking about kids,
Right.
The fire that was there a few days ago, I'm a firm believer that kids who are in primary school should not be in boarding school. Kids will probably start boarding when you go to secondary school. Any thoughts?
I believe as well.
Okay.
I went to boarding school from class 4.
Oh, no.
I don't think it did me well, to be honest with you. I had to work a lot to undo some of the things that happened while I was in high school.
Okay.
You know, I was in a mixed school at class 4. That's when you're trying to look at the women. That's too young.
It's too young.
You understand? But when you're locked with these people, like in a prison, you'll start seeing things that you're not supposed to be seeing.
Yeah.
The kids dying, and I'll say this again, I don't think it was an accident.
Oh, no?
Nobody will convince me it was an accident. No.
What are your thoughts around that?
Innocent blood was shed by somebody. Whoever is behind it, God will punish that person.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, yeah.
Because my view would be Kenya, we take things too lightly. If I have a child in boarding school, I'd want to see where they're sleeping, where they're playing, the school bus condition, where they're dining. I'd want to see the exit, see the safety. And I wonder whether parents are allowed to look at that when they drop their kids off to school.
They should demand for that, to be honest with you. Where you're going to leave your kids for 3 months at a time, they should. But we're not angry enough.
You say demand for that, but are parents even aware they should demand for that? For me, it would be automatic.
Yes.
When I take my child to school, I'm going to demand.
To see where the boy is going to be sleeping.
But how come parents are not keen on such? Just drop your child,
Again, new age parenthood. Some it's because of poverty. Listen, anything is better than our house, so go. All right? And then there's this group of new age parenthood, classy parents, you understand what I'm saying? Oh, just go. There's beacon in your school and all that, and just go. So this school had a fire, maybe because the paint wasn't right, but anyway. But in other schools, it's not a fire, but it's their kids being introduced to drugs.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's trouble all around. What we got to understand, and I'll say this without mentioning any school, somebody reached out to me from a county not in Nairobi, and said, I am a teacher in this school. Some of the finances we have are from an NGO that supports some things. And it says, if you get these girls with each other at night, don't suspend them. Don't clap for them, but don't suspend them. And if you do, we shall pull back our money.
Okay.
And they need the money. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So here is a fire, another one is drugs, another one is LGBTQ, another is whatever. So parents must demand, like now, for example, kids have died. 21 are here now.
That's a very big number.
21, and others are missing. I don't know how true that is. Let me ask you a question, Lillian. We have moved on like nothing happened.
Unfortunately.
We have moved on like nothing happened. Do you know how many kids were crying for their mothers and their fathers? And we have just moved on because our children are not there. We have just moved on because it has not hit close to home. But guess what? If we don't talk now, it will hit close to home. We are not angry enough. There'll be another scandal by a public figure and we'll move on.
Yeah.
And then we leave the parents trying. They're told, we'll give you ashes to bury your children. I saw a video of, on that day when parents went to, a lady found out her kid had died. And what they did is bring her food. As a mother, would you even have appetite? Not at all. We are not angry. The church is not angry enough. Government doesn't seem to be angry enough.
Yeah.
The citizenry are not angry enough. And we'll just move on to the airport mess. And
We've
the
already
people,
moved on,
yes,
yeah.
and the people mourning. So parents need to come, find out where your kids are going to sleep. And every so often, the schools must be, they must allow the parents to come and inspect. Are you improving the schools? Are you painting the dormitories? Are the mattresses good? Are the beds in good condition?
Yes.
But that's not happening. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to do better as parents. Because I always see the school buses, the way they're recklessly driven in Nairobi. And I always feel that bus should have a camera.
Yes.
You know, if your kids have gone for a trip, be able to just log on your phone and see how the kids are doing. But, you know, even a car speeding, why isn't anybody speaking up?
Right.
You know, all these accidents we have, just say, wait, driver, slow down.
Slow down.
Tuna haraka sana. But people just keep quiet.
Because it's easy for us to move on. Sad.
But it is your life in danger.
Yeah, we don't see that.
I think now it goes back to our upbringing. We should know how to speak up when you
Ourselves.
feel something is not going the right way. You know?
I agree.
Now, you train corporate staff.
I do.
I had a very nice job, which I just resigned from. It was corporate. Because I felt that's not my route. But I'm keen to just get into what you train people about in the corporate world. Yeah.
Work and life balance. One of the major things. Very important. Understanding your seasons in the workplace. But there's something I do that can be controversial. I also teach people in the corporate how to survive without that job that they've called me to train their people.
Okay.
Many people are fired on a Monday, 10 o'clock. By 11 o'clock, the email has changed and people get out there and get bitter. I tell them, you're just a passing cloud.
Yes.
It's not your company.
Yes.
By the way, you can be fired while you're asleep. So is to also have at least 3 streams of income. So if it's a sales team, we're called to train them on sales techniques. We're very good at that. Marketing, we also do company strategies. We look at your last 5 years, look at the market, and then we do an analysis, and we think this is the direction we should go. Yeah.
I think
and also motivate them.
Yeah. I think the way we are trained is you complete your high school education, you go to college, university, and then you must look for a job. We are not taught how to work for yourself, self-employment. You know? So I think when people now don't get employed, they feel, oh my God, I'm so hopeless.
Yes.
I'm failing in life.
Yes.
So I think public speaking, critical thinking, and how you can run your own business is just like a skill we should all have.
In fact, I'm glad you are pushing a lot on public speaking. Public speaking around the world is $1 billion industry. Yeah. People pay loads of money to listen to people speaking to them.
True.
Barack Obama said he made more money as a public speaker after dinner speech than when he was president. I even tell my fellow pastors, learn how to speak. Even preaching, you have to give the message of Jesus Christ in a way that would enjoy to listen to you.
Yes,
you understand?
Yes. And we want to remember what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't just be there shouting and spitting on people. No. Yeah. Tonal variation. the importance of a pregnant pause, which Obama is a professional in. You know, look at somebody, refer, hey, Lillian, and then turn to somebody else, then pause, look down, look up, and then take them on a high as you're about to finish your speech, take them on a high, and then drop the mic. They will call you next time.
Our preaching is, you know, shh, you're removing all these things from you, you're shouting.
There's a time for
and
that.
shaking you and making you fall.
Now, I would not advise any preacher to push somebody to fall. The Spirit of God is powerful. But when you push somebody to look powerful, then you're mocking the Father. Yeah. But public speaking, I would advise any parent listening to us right now and watching us right now, if you sense and see that your child has a gift of communication, enhance it. Trust me, where the world is going. I'll tell you one thing. I was once invited to the US to speak only for 25 minutes, and I flew back.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's push.
It's so nice. Sitting on an 18 or 14-hour flight to speak for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not because they don't have any other person who can speak. Speaking is one thing. Communicating effectively is another thing. So I would advise, like your boy, build him on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm very keen on that already.
Yes, build him on that. He will be a mover and a shaker.
Can't wait.
It's just an amazing thing.
Yeah. Now, corporate and self-employment, how do we get our young people to appreciate being self-employed? You don't have to be employed.
That has to start in school. I happen to be a guest of honor in a graduation of some school, and the outgoing head boy said something absolutely powerful. He says, and to my fellow students, we are done with our time here in the school. We are now going to various universities across the world, and I do hope we will come back and set companies to employ people. They were taught that in school. Yeah. That reasoning is just out of this world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, I think it's because we always feel self-employment is so hard. Like you hardly ever make it.
It's tough in the beginning.
So we choose the easier route of just being employed.
It's tough in the beginning. It's easier when it doesn't matter what happens, you'll be paid at the end of the month. But when you start at the beginning, it's you're trying to start something that is inside of you. It's like a pregnant woman. Remember your first trimester. Nobody knew what you carried, but you knew it yourself. Maybe you didn't want to eat some foods because the pregnancy was rejected. Then second trimester, we start off kind of seeing it, but we are not sure. Then the third trimester, we see it completely. But people are still saying, let's wait and see.
Yeah.
Then when you give birth, then everybody comes with gifts. So when you go into self-employment, you have the first trimester of the vision stage, that this is what I want to do. And then the second trimester is when you talk to one or two people that this is what I'm trying to do, and their work is just to encourage you, put in some finances to push you. On the third trimester, then it is seen. People are like, okay, we see there's something, but we want to wait for the manifestation.
Yeah.
When the baby comes forth, then everybody comes. So if people can just hold on to the third trimester, when that baby comes, that company, that podcast, when it comes out, it's like, oh, so this is what you had seen.
Yeah.
Then they all want to be associated with it. Yeah.
I think a strange phenomenon that I see in Kenya is where a few years ago, people were wearing quills, and then everybody was doing that.
Yes.
Is it like a hard mentality where we feel like if your business is working, it's going to work for me?
Yes.
Are we out of ideas? And also, there's so many startups that come along and always feel this is just like the other one. We don't have new ideas coming up here.
We're not out of ideas. We don't want to think of ideas. We want somebody else to think. Now, we're in this interview. Do you know somebody will watch this and say, I can do what she's doing? And they will start. And then it collapses. Then they ask you, Kwani, what have you done that I've not done?
Yeah.
You're not called to do that. So you do something else. Don't sell eggs because your neighbor is selling eggs. And I go back again to school. Teachers say, do you see the way Lillian speaks good English? You Shema, you speak like you're from the village. So then somebody tries to speak like you at the expense of putting knowledge in their head. So that, because she's done it, because he's done it, then I'm also going to do it. And then you end up failing, and then you look for somebody else who's doing something else. By the time you're realizing, you're about to die.
Yeah.
So people die depressed. So that mentality must end. And as we raise our children, we have to be very intentional in trying to tell them, please understand who you are, right identity. And whatever you do it, whatever you decide to do, you are good enough. But we only think we can do what somebody else has done. Somebody who is doing what they're good at, if we copy them, then it's okay. Yet you have been called, it's like aping somebody's good and missing your own best. So let's be very, very intentional in how we're raising our children. But it's TikTok raising our children.
Yeah. Then again, going back to the issue of who I am and who you are, how do you find out? Where do you find out? Because I feel like we go through seasons, phases in life.
Right.
So last year, maybe like 5 years ago, I was a different person. And then 5 years later, today, I'm a different person. I'll be a different person in 5 years. So
there are different seasons, same person. Because when I look at you 5 years ago, you're still the same person. The way you speak, you're calm. It's just now you're in another season. So you haven't lost you, but it's a different season.
A little bit of a...
That's it.
Yeah.
For me, I'm a very loud guy. How I preach, I'm loud. If I preach even in a funeral, I'm so loud that the dead can hear.
Oh, yeah?
It doesn't change. You understand what I'm saying? How I parent, I'm just loud like that. But it's just to understand our seasons. Number one, I'll ask you, what makes you tick? What is this thing? You don't like seeing people suffer. All right? You don't like injustice. Then one season, you'll be dealing with children's homes, orphans, widows. But the inner being of wanting to see people have the best is still there. Then you go into employment. You will gravitate towards the so-called lower cadre employees or anybody who is facing injustice. You'll be pushed towards them. Same person, different seasons.
Okay. Makes a lot of sense.
You go to another arena,
yeah.
You become president, you will not want to see women suffering, carrying children in the streets, and there's no food. So the inner you never gets lost.
Intact.
It's the expression of you in different seasons and different spaces that just change based on who you're experiencing.
Okay. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah. The work-life balance. How is that in Kenya?
People work too much. There's no balance.
Okay.
There's no balance at all. Oh, Jesus Christ. Children are raised by house managers. Never see their parents. That's why I said at the beginning, we are busy investing for the children and not in the children. One time, a lady came crying, called me crying, and says, my daughter just called the house manager mom.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Because the house manager is around the daughter through her emotions. When she's sad, she's carried.
Yeah.
Given words of affirmation and calm. When she's happy, when they're playing games, and then mom comes in the evening, high corporate lady, and baby is asleep. In the morning, they only feel a peck on their cheeks and says, mommy loves you. You say mommy loves you, but house manager shows me love. And I say to that lady, you are employed. The day you'll be fired, they will not care.
Yeah.
By the way, and I want to say this to anybody watching us, that you're employed. Right now, you may be the darling of the company. They will fire you. Within 3 minutes, the email has changed. Within another minute, the security will be told, deactivate the card, access card, and then you'll go back to your children to try and recover. You'll have lost them.
It's too late. Somebody said that your kids will treat you when you're older how you treated them when they were younger.
Sadly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sadly.
Our parents are too busy.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. If I tell you the amount of people who come to speak to me, young people, it breaks my heart. And that's why I say clearly, we will have, if you're not careful, more rehab centers than libraries and churches in the near future. Because people are going through depression, desperate to have the love of their parents. Nobody's there for them. Yeah.
When I got the baby, I intentionally chose to stay home. I got a remote job, which I just resigned from. And I don't want to work for the next 1 year.
Right.
Think something that I have to do 9 to 5. So I'm home with the baby now. He's 2 years. Until he goes to school, maybe 3-4 years, I want to be with him.
Right.
Totally with him. Because I feel now, once he goes to school, I'll never have him all to myself.
That's it.
You know, it's always split time.
Yeah.
But I think also, it's life. You have to work. So how do you find balance? Because you have to work, you have to fend for your family.
True. Work from Monday to Friday if your job entails. Saturday, don't go to that chama.
Okay.
Spend time with your kids. Do fun things with your kids. On Sunday, go to church. After that, go for a meal. When you see people going for a meal with their kids and they're bouncing castle, it's not because they have nothing else to do. They know what they are doing. They're inculcating values that those children feel they are loved. And when the children feel they are loved and appreciated, when they go out there, they will not look for love in the wrong places, in drugs and the wrong men, the wrong women. You understand what I'm saying? So be intentional. Okay, fine, I work until Saturday. I don't think you work on Monday to Saturday 12 hours every day. But you just have to deny yourself for your children. Like you're saying, you've resigned to spend time with your son. You know, when he's 10, when he's 6, he'll be ahead of his peers. And other parents will be asking you, Kwani, what's the secret? Do you know what the secret is? Is what you're doing now. Yeah.
Interesting. I had a guest, I think last week, and they were telling me they're always home. He's a guy, yeah? He's very busy. We work together in the construction industry.
Right.
He's always home by 7 p.m. to do homework with the child.
Yes.
But I feel like that's not important for most parents. You know, the house girl is going to do that and then...
You just sign the diary.
We'll catch up later. Yeah. So I think it's being intentional. Clock out, then rush home.
Yeah.
Kudos. Yeah.
Kudos to that gentleman.
Yeah.
He's created value. He's intentional.
Yes.
And it does not matter. I'm sure now the people around him know this guy must be home by 7. So you have to work around it. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think we are challenged to,
parents must.
to all,
you just
all do
have
better.
to.
Yeah.
I remember, imagine at the age I am at, and I still remember my dad would come home and watch wrestling with me. I loved it. And we'd laugh and high-five each other.
Yeah. I love wrestling to date. Yeah.
So you can imagine.
Yeah.
Watching it with your boy.
It was a family affair.
But now, from work, people rush to clubs and to meet their friends until 10 p.m. for a drink. Once in a while, it's okay. But that's the norm now, especially in Kenya.
It's terrifying.
We are so empty on the inside that we don't want to be alone at home with our children. We just want to be where there's loud music, bright lights, and high-fiving, and boom twaf and all that. That gives us our identity. That tells you the children right now are being raised by a largely, I don't want to use crazy words because I know we'll be told off, by a largely clueless parent pool of people.
But how come this clueless pool are still getting kids?
Because getting a child does not need brain work.
But if you feel...
Just needs pelvic movement.
But if you feel you're not ready for a child, don't do what you're doing.
Many people want the joy that comes with intimacy, but run away from the responsibility that was born out of the joy of intimacy.
Yeah.
So having babies does not require a PhD.
True.
Yeah.
And I always feel like...
Did I just say that?
Once, yes. Once, I feel like once you become a parent, God is challenging you to grow up. You must grow up.
That's it.
You know, because there's somebody else that's depending on you. It's not about you anymore.
Right.
But I can say with authority, people don't want responsibility. And then now that's why you end up seeing people going to clubs after work, getting home at midnight. And then what I don't like a lot is the Sunday setup, where you go to church, family. Then now you take the kids and the wife, you go have your lunch. The kids are playing the bouncing castle. The father is there drinking a beer and a gazette. It just drives me crazy. Because I know you haven't been there Monday to Saturday.
Right.
And this is just a routine, you know, which is terrible. Yeah.
It is sad. It is painful, to say the least. We think, you can be around your child, but you're not with your child.
Yep.
Because your mind is not there. And I tell men who run away from their responsibility. When you are coming together with that woman, did you think nothing like that would happen? Like when a man says, how did you get pregnant?
It's a possibility, high
Brother?
possibility.
How?
Yeah.
Did you understand? And then we also have women who, in parenthood, there are stages. We have men and women who don't seem to understand the stage of parenthood.
Okay.
There's a time to be the protector, the nurturer, the friend, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Woo unto a parent, trying to be friends with their son or their daughter at a time they're supposed to be the commander-in-chief, where you see mothers and daughters dressed in a funny way, you don't know who is who, fathers and their sons having a beer. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, my son, have a beer.
Is that wrong?
Yes.
Why is it wrong? Just a social drink.
Any person who is addicted started with a social drink. Now, when a father starts taking, if it's a man of grown age, that's different. But you can imagine a father having a beer with an 18-year-old. 18-year-old is of legal age, but their mind has not matured enough. Like women mature at the age of 24. You understand?
Yeah.
Yes, you're of legal age, but when your father starts telling you can drink at the age of 18, nobody, no authority, no pastor, no headmaster, no mentor will tell you otherwise, because your first authority says it's okay. When a mother is dressing like the child, child miniskirt, because that's their age, the mother also miniskirt. You're telling your child being objectified is okay. 24 is when somebody matures. That when you teach them, they'll be like, okay, fine. They even tell you, Mom, today I don't feel like this. Dad, today I don't feel like this. But at 18, whatever you tell them, they do. That's my take. Because I've had very many young people in my office and they're like, I wish my father or my mother told me this was wrong. Now, there's a rehab I go to speak to. The oldest person in that rehab, Lillian, is 21. 21.
Yeah.
We have 17-year-old people there from very powerful families. At 17, you're already addicted that you need to be in a rehab. When did it start?
Yeah, but how come we have the alcohol problem in Kenya? In Central, where I come from. Because when I go up country sometimes, I see people who I was in school with, uko wamelewa.
Yes.
They are down in the ditch. They've become so old just because of alcohol.
Two things for Central Province. Number one, it was a political weapon.
Okay.
Many years ago, because of the influence and the numbers, cheap alcohol was brought into Central Province to finish them politically. Number two...
Sorry, there's always a joke that on the night of the election, people are given alcohol. That way they don't wake up to go and vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We joke about it, but there's some truth in it.
It is true. It is true, yeah.
There are also altars there. I went to speak in Moranga. My heart broke. I had a men's conference in Moranga. And I'm seeing these grown men and I'm like, dirty, drinking. I entered the hall, I almost got high because everybody's breathing alcohol. But then some came with their sons. And I kid you not. You're saying this guy is called Kimani. When I look at him, he's Otieno. These men cannot even perform.
Yeah.
These boys have been sired by the workers of these men. I was seeing Wafula there in me. You understand what I'm saying? Because I know how lawyers look like.
Yeah.
So what has happened is we're handing over the baton of alcoholism to the next generation.
Yeah.
So we need a national cleanup. Government must do something, especially this cheap liquor.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have a way of addicting people in a very dangerous way.
I think the what's her name? What's her name? Dorcas.
She's a pastor in our church. Yes.
Yeah. She's doing something.
Yes, she's doing an amazing job with the boy child and
Is that
alcohol.
being felt?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Because I have seen some even got married the other day.
Oh, yeah.
They were taken through rehab.
Like
they
recovered.
They were cleaned up. But you know what? She needs help. She cannot do it by herself.
Yeah.
So she needs, because it's a national problem, so she needs help from every corner. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You have a few books. I haven't read any.
Oh, God,
I am embarrassed, and I will read.
Please, you make sure.
Tell me about your books.
My first book mask off from the strip club to the pulpit. It's me unmasking myself on my addictions, strip clubs and all those crazy things. My second book is 365 with a coach, a nugget of wisdom for every day.
Let's go back to the first book.
Okay.
What's the name?
I knew. From the strip, mask off, from the strip club to the pulpit.
Okay.
Yes. How I struggled with strip clubs, addictions. And all those things, I have never touched alcohol in my life. Never drunk. So I was doing all those things sober.
Interesting, because my father has never drunk.
He must be a good man then.
I didn't say that.
No, he's a good man. He is a good man.
But you know, they always say if you don't drink, you have other vices. Yeah.
I did struggle with strip clubs.
Okay.
Like crazy.
I think once in a while you can go to a strip club and
All those
enjoy
things
yourself.
are very addictive because what happens, so that I stop somebody, is that my camera? I want to stop somebody from going because this is what happens. So you go to a strip club and the ladies come and dance for you, but their eyes are on you. Whatever they do, wherever they move, it's like golf. When you're swinging, your eyes on the ball. That's how you hit it well.
Yes.
So the eye is on you. And at that moment is when the instant connection happens. When you go to sleep, you're just seeing those eyes. You will go back the next day.
Really? I tend to disagree.
Oh, no, trust me, I can write a book. I was there for over 7 years.
Okay.
Even when they dance with their back on you, they make sure they look at you. They make you feel as
Just
if you're
pulling you in.
Yes. You're like the king of Zamunda.
That's the whole point.
Then, to them, they are boosting your ego. But you don't realize, Otieno comes there, Kinyanchui comes there with a big belly, and
Same
they'll
thing.
make them feel the same thing.
Yeah.
Then they know tomorrow at 7 o'clock, you'll come back. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Going back to if you don't know who you are, if you're lacking.
Yes.
Do you want do you want more water?
I know I'm good.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, my reasons for going there was I was searching for myself. I had an identity issue. So whatever they told me, they even told me they were brown skin. And surely I'm as dark could be. You understand what I'm saying? But they make you feel so good.
Yeah.
But they're pulling you. It's an art. Even when you go for a haircut. Why are you unbuttoning my shirt? To massage my chest. What does this have to do with this?
But
it's an art.
But it's connected. You
And
know,
there's
the
nothing like
head
that.
relax the shoulders and then the head gets
Go and tell men it's relaxing. No. You see a man going to the barber 5 times a week.
Yeah, true.
You understand? And what they do, there's a big mirror. And men are connected with what I'm saying. Even the guys on the camera, they're smiling here already. They are massaging your chest.
Yeah.
And they're looking at you through the mirror.
See the reaction.
It's always about the connection.
Yeah.
So don't go to strip clubs. And if you are business owner of a strip club, God gives you a better business idea. Yeah.
But I always feel like when somebody's young, they should go through all these experiences. And of course, you pray they have the power to pull out when they feel like it's getting too
That's where the problem is.
Yeah.
Pulling out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds bad. Yeah, but that's exactly what I mean.
Like stopping yourself.
Yes, that's hard.
Interesting. So you'd go to strip clubs and then?
And you just feel good. You understand what I'm saying?
For like too long?
For the
seven
time,
years,
for
you
the
said?
yes.
Okay.
But it's a high. It's like taking a drug, I believe. You have that high, and then how many times did I say this is the last time I'm going to come here?
Okay.
Yeah, the next day I was there, and you leave that place feeling filthy, and then the next day I'm there. You understand? So when you start pulling out of it, is hard. That's where the problem is.
Yeah.
It's
like,
almost impossible.
Like gambling.
Yes.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And by the way, it's also a very demonic thing.
Yeah.
Because before you entered there, they had already prayed and dedicated that place to some deity. Just the way you know in some bars, when you go to a place, every once in a while, there's usually a very bad accident on that route, and people die. You're feeding an altar. And it's fed by blood. I want you to think. I don't think my lawyer would want me to mention names.
You see, there I'm deep in thought.
Yes, and I want you to think of a few joints, we call them, that every once in a while in that road, they're usually very bad accidents. And nobody survives. They don't even die in hospital. 4 may die in hospital, but 1 must die on that road. Blood must be spilled there. That is the only way to feed the altar and the principality that is giving you business. It's crazy.
I don't have much information about that.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't know how to.
If you go to Nairobi, the CBD,
Yeah.
if I ask you which street has the most banks, would you know?
Most banks?
Banks, yeah.
I don't know the last time I was in
Koinange Street
CBD.
has banks. There's like 5 banks in Koinange Street.
Okay.
Right? Which street has prostitutes at night?
Koinange.
Yeah. Nothing happens by mistake.
But what's on? I think Moi Avenue is busy. What's on Moi Avenue?
Which
Nothing.
is Moi Avenue?
Moi Avenue.
They sell clothes and wares there?
Yeah, I think they have all these shops. And
Yeah.
It's a busy road.
Yeah. Everything has a spiritual
Oh, yeah?
inside.
Yeah, I wouldn't
How
know
many men
to-
spend their money in that lane that during the day is banks, financial transactions happening? At night, it's another transaction where you leave money. You leave money.
Yeah.
You leave money. Nothing happens by mistake. Look at where the bars that are very popular, accidents that happen there take people's lives. And some are very, very grisly. Because the demonic principality wants 2 things: painful blood, meaning it was a painful accident, or innocent blood.
It's not just recklessness where you drink and then you drive in drunk and then you get an accident. and
Because that is what would be easier to say. You get me? When you leave a church, there's no reckless driving. But it's easy for that principality to work with somebody who's drunk. So blood must happen. Even some hospitals.
Okay. Let me not mention the hospital in mind, but
No, don't mention any
There's a
hospital.
hospital, that people say when you go there, unajua now you're going to die.
You got to be very careful. You got to be extremely careful.
Yeah.
Where there is a matter of life and death,
Yeah.
there are forces at play. There are forces at play.
Yeah.
You might go there with a headache and they tell you we need to inject you something or a slight surgery. After 1 week, you're having stomach aches. Could be the left some things look on that. It starts rotting. By the time you're going back, you're dying. A principality must be fed. That's why you have to be alert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a very broad topic if you were to...
And a dangerous topic for that matter.
Yeah, if you were to get into it.
Yeah.
The second book.
The second book.
But now, just winding up on the first book, you don't go to strip clubs anymore?
Oh, no.
Once in a while?
No, never. There's no once in a while.
Not at all?
No. My work is to make sure I get everybody out of that place by my words.
But I feel now, because you've grown from that, you can just go and have a good time.
No. I know how to have a good time now.
Okay.
Play my golf.
Fair enough.
Yes. Watch my movies. Imagine me going to a strip club. And with my silver fox. Serious man. Imagine Chicken Devil. Very well cut.
The girls would be happy.
And I'm just there saying, I'm a bedroom bully. No, you cannot do those things.
And the dollars.
Oh, no. You know, chopping the money.
Yeah.
No, my work is to get those people out. What God delivers you from, He gives you grace for.
Yeah.
So that book, I'll make sure I send the books to you tomorrow.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please do. Yeah.
So it talks about that. Story for another day. Suicide attempts as well. Suicidal attempts I've tried when life was tough. And many other stories. I'm sure by the time you're done with that book, you'll call me to interview me again.
Okay. Talking about suicide, but very lightly, because I don't want to delve into that. There's this guy I loved, Avicii. I love house music.
All right.
And he was the happiest guy, and then he committed suicide. So I'm always struggling to understand what somebody is going through to the point where you feel, I've had enough. I just want to check out.
Right.
Yeah. Like, I feel God gave us the choice, the power of choice in everything we do, right? So how come it gets so diminished that you're not able to stop yourself from saying, it's so bad, but I know it's going to get better, so I don't have to kill myself?
Number one, he seemed to be the happiest person, but he wasn't.
Clearly.
Yeah. Number two is always have an accountability group around you. For example, when I look at you, you're a very calm personality.
You think so?
Yes. I mean, I'm right? If you came out here jumping all over the place, you're what's up, my people? I would know
something
there's
is
a
off.
problem. I would pull you on the side.
Okay.
Say, Lillian, what's going on? Or for me, who is loud, then all of a sudden I'm just not speaking. Then there's a problem. So it's to have a group of people around you who can pick those things.
Okay.
Was it Robbie Williams, the comedian, the actor?
Yeah.
He committed suicide. Yet he made us laugh in our homes. So back to what you said. Who are you away from all these things? That's the person the devil attacks. You feel after all that. And it's hard for public figures or public speakers or people who use so much energy on people because virtue leaves you. You become empty when you go home.
Become depleted. Yeah.
Like when I go home myself, because I live alone, I play loud music and I just start dancing.
What kind of music?
Gospel and praise.
Okay.
I do. And I'll be honest, sometimes
you should try some house music.
I don't have the energy for that.
You don't need the energy.
It
just needs to be at the background.
My years in the UK, and the guys were bopping their head.
Yeah.
I love calmness, but also dance to praise.
Okay.
My secret sins, I listen to rumba.
Okay.
You know, rumba have nice love songs or songs about life, that teach us a lot.
I don't know much about rumba.
I will send you one song that you like.
A short one. I think rumba songs sometimes that's...
The shortest rumba song is 17 minutes. No, I'm kidding.
Is there a shorter one? I feel like they go on and on and on. There's no
because
end.
they give a story.
Yeah.
They give a story. Somebody says how they were born, how they fell in love, how they, all those things. It's a beautiful story.
Yeah. I like groovy, but I wouldn't know how to enjoy rumba. Probably not yet.
I'm going to indoctrinate you, don't worry.
Okay, good.
So I did 365 with the coach, which is a nugget of wisdom for every day. And then the third book is called...
What does that entail? The nuggets of wisdom for every day?
Different things. I have relationships, family, workplace, self. Yeah. They're in different categories.
But if you were to do a summary, what cuts across the
relationships?
Yeah. Okay.
It's relationships. We're relational beings. Everything about
true.
Relating with our children, with our spouses, with our workmates, with our finances. So it's the blood that flows through that whole book. Then the third book is for men, the 3 hearts of a man, the warrior, the worshipper, and the warrior. So that's the 3 dimensions of a man. And then the last chapter, I teach women how to handle their men in those 3 dimensions. There's a time to praise your man. There's a time to boost his ego. There's a time to let him be.
Okay.
Yeah. Then the 4th book, which I should be releasing in about 2 to 3 weeks, is called I Am Reluctant, But I Will Go. This is about being told, this is your path. It's never easy sometimes. Like you resigned because you thought you have a different path. It's easy to say, let me stay here where there's a salary and, but you're supposed to go this direction. It's not going to be easy, but you have to go. So I'm telling people how to do that. And at the end of that, fulfillment is guaranteed. Yeah.
When did you discover you could write, become an author?
When I was in high school, because I used to write love letters.
Okay.
And poems.
Yeah, those days were pretty good.
Yes. I would write very beautiful poems. And the reaction was, okay, so I can do this.
Not too bad, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm using it the right way now, not all those points. But I'm still a poet, by the way. I'm still a poet.
Do you read widely? What kind of genres of books do you read?
I'm a reader, personal development, and I do something every Thursday. Every Thursday for 3 hours, I sit in silence with a pen and a paper. It's called Thinking Thursday. And I just write the things that are coming onto my head.
Why Thursday? Thursday is a favorite day of the week for me. For no particular reason.
You love Thursday?
Yeah, I love Thursdays.
Okay. Monday is my best because pastors rest on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah. Why Thursday? It's because the first time I did it was a Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why I do it every Thursday. And many things come through my mind. Many leadership manuals and I mentor people how to speak to them as well.
Now, you said you are a minister of God.
Yes.
Where did that start? Where did they come from? Your parents, uncles, aunties, somebody in the family?
My father raised me in church. We went to Sunday school every time.
Okay. I feel like all of us were raised in church.
Yeah. My mother was in the worship team at St. Francis Church, Karen, at some point. But for me, it was something that was ordained to me before I was born.
Okay.
Then along life's path, God just told me, I'm calling you today. And I said yes to the call.
When was this? How far back?
2008.
Okay.
Yeah. And I just answered the call. I woke up feeling empty and I just felt the Lord speaking to me and I knelt down. Pastor Edward Ngaira led me to Christ. He used to be in Sitamgong at that time. Again, it was a Thursday night. I don't know about Thursday. Maybe when I get married again, I'll get married on a Thursday.
Maybe you should.
Yeah. Pastor Edon Gara led me to Christ, walked with me. From there, joined Nairobi Chapel when they were, I think, at Jamhuri Park. And then now joined Bishop David Moredi, where I am at little today. So he's my father in the Lord. And I was ordained at House of Grace, and I have grown there. So I go all over the world by God's grace preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But my preaching is a bit different.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a bit different. I will invite you.
Yeah, I'm a staunch Catholic.
It's okay.
So, yeah, I know, but I don't know how. I've never been to any
A
other
Pentecostal
church. I've never been.
Okay.
And I've got an invite.
Do you want to come this Sunday?
Not this Sunday, but you can plan and then I can come. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
But how has it been preaching to Kenyans, Sisi wa Kenya? How has it been? Because I feel, and we always see some preachers are just mad, for lack of a better word. Mad in terms of the things they say. And I think me, because I'm so conservative, I'm a Catholic.
Right.
I'm wondering, what are you talking about? I should be learning from you.
Right. Absolutely.
But the things they do and say, they're just opposite of what they should be doing.
The truth of the matter, Lillian, not everybody who calls the name of the Lord is of God. Some have gone into ministry for different reasons. Maybe some it's because it's a business venture. I don't know. But the ones who are truly called of God must carry the Spirit of God and the attributes of God. And I don't want to judge anybody because God is the judge.
True.
But for me, I preach from where God has brought me from. And the message, every time I preach, I must bring in the grace of God in my personal life so that you can relate to it. As opposed to just talking about God and you're waiting for me to show you, you have told me about God. Show me what he has done for you. You understand? So when I tell these young people, I was once in a strip club. Guys, God got me out. And then how? Then you take them, prayer, study of the word, be accountable to people, have an ecclesia group, do not forsake the gathering of the saints. And we grow like that. Are there some crazy preachers? Yes, all over the world.
Yes, all over the
world. I saw one who introduced his wife, who happens to be a fellow man. That's crazy.
It is crazy.
It's wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, don't lay hands on me, and at night you're laying hands on a fellow man.
Yeah.
No.
Now, interesting. But let me hold that thought. Now, some preachers, pastors, for me, they're just too wild, so crazy. But then you find every Sunday the church is full. It's packed to the brim. So what does that say about us? About Africa, development and poverty and religion?
Everybody's looking for God, somehow.
Okay.
And some people are graced for other people. Others are graced for other people. One thing when you come to a church, we have another grace. That even how we deliver our sermons, you can sit, listen to, get blessed, even as a corporate lady. There are other ministries that their work is to do deliverance, for example. Deal with these demonic forces. All churches are, but some are graced for that.
Okay.
Now, I don't think you will go and sit in such a church.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
So then for you, God may use the deliverance that comes through the renewal of your mind. Other people, they want to feel the force and they fall down. Some will vomit. And by the way, let me tell you, some of those things are true. Others, of course, are too dramatic. Others play games.
Yeah.
But there's a place where God moves. People fall. People vomit. People do crazy things.
I can believe that.
Yeah. But some people have now, the fear of God has left them.
Yeah.
And they're just playing games with the people of God. Sadly.
Yeah, talking of God's presence, I watched something on TV the other day, and this girl, they had an accident, a girl, and then she survived in the ocean for a few days or few weeks, whatever. And then now when she was rescued, she said the Virgin Mary had kept her safe, you know? And I remember when we were growing up, there's a lady who had gotten an accident. It's a crazy story. She got an accident when we were young, we were in primary school. And she became disabled.
Right.
So this time we are in class, primary school, and then people are rushing out to her home. Of course, I'm going to go and see what's going on. So we get to her home, and on the ceiling, there's a Virgin Mary there. And I'm in Catholic, I'm doing catechism, I've been confirmed, I'm doing confession. And I saw the Virgin Mary, and I thought, is this real? But now, that lady who was paralyzed, she started walking. and she was healed. So it might sound so crazy, but I believe in miracles.
God is a miracle worker.
In as much as they sound so far-fetched, I believe in miracles.
Actually, the one characteristic of a miracle, it sounds far-fetched. In the Bible, the woman with the issue of blood who bled for 12 years, no doctor could help her. She just said, if only I touch the hem of Jesus' garment, I'll be made well.
Yeah.
The garment. And immediately, she was made well. Blind Bartimaeus was born blind, just told Jesus, have mercy on me. He was told, your faith has healed you. His eyes popped open. Miracles must sound crazy.
Yeah.
That's why they're called miracles, actually. And I agree.
Yeah, but not talking about religion in Africa. We have so many churches. And when Rwanda banned churches, there was an uproar, you can't do that, in the West, churches are being closed down. They're converting into museums. But I feel in Kenya, specifically in Kenya, there's a church every other place you turn. So why do we first because you said people are looking for God, searching for meaning, hope and all that. But why are we so caught up with the church thing?
And I think that is why we are standing. Look at in the West. It's interesting, there's a church I used to go to when I used to live in the UK. It was sold. It's now a bar. Yeah. And ironically, the bar is called the Holy Cross.
Oh, my.
That is why a lot of bad things are happening. There is the moral fabric of society in those sides has been torn. The foundation is shaken. We may say we have many churches, but let me tell you, if we removed churches, we would cry for those churches to come back.
You reckon?
Yeah, because what happens, there could be a church that has 5 people. And people will be saying, why are you wasting your time with 5 people? It's not about those 5 people. It's about the altar raised there. That church is an altar. That's why where there are accidents, if you investigate deeper in the spirit, they are demonic altars. It may just be a structure, but it's an altar. So when you have churches, it's an altar raised. But having said that, the fact that we go to churches does not mean we should suspend our thinking. That you're in church from Monday to Sunday.
Yeah.
No. You go to work, take care of your family. I tell people, you cannot tell me you're in church every day. We are praying. Pray at home. Spend time with your kids. There's that thing of, we are also crazy about attending church Monday to Friday. There's a conference every day. No, I don't think that's God's plan for us. No.
You don't think so?
No. Let me ask you.
But we were made to serve.
But let me ask you. Let me use you as a practical example. You attend church on Monday. Church workers meetings on Monday. Intercessors on Tuesday. Pastors meeting on Wednesday. Miracle service on Thursday. Worship service on Friday. Cleaning church on Saturday. Go to church on Sunday. And God has given you a gift of a child. Is that God's plan for that child to be like that?
No, it's not. Yeah.
Let's not suspend our thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said you don't want your pastor blessing you, and then in the evening he's, with another man.
How? LGBTQ?
Yeah. Now I have a different view when it comes to
I like that.
this community. I always ask myself, why would you choose to be on the hard side of society? So I believe people are born with that. People are born gay.
You believe that?
I believe that. Not all. Because you've seen people who come out and share their stories. I mean, I'm gay, I'm 59, I've been gay all my life. And then when you go back to when they were young kids, they would dress in their mother's shoes. The father is present, but you're drawing close to your mother. You're doing the lipstick, you're walking like a girl. As a child, you don't know about these things. So I always feel people are born gay. I think now probably there's curiosity, you want to try all these things. I mean, it's broad, but people who have been gay all their lives, I believe they're born gay.
Okay, can I disagree respectfully?
Yeah, sure.
Nobody's born gay.
Okay.
Absolutely nobody is born gay. That is why when I was born, the doctor looked at my anatomy and says, oops, it's a boy. Because there was something there. He did not look at my forehead to decide I'm a boy. He looked down there. All right. Now what happens, and I'm glad you said something about parents' lipstick. I've told single women raising sons, for example, like I'll tell you, you can never send your son to your handbag.
No, I said lipstick even when the father is there present.
Yes. Now,
there's a present father and you have brother.
He's
then you
present
have sisters.
physically, but absent in raising that child.
No, he's there even raising the child.
Then
He's
that
raising
father
the
also
child.
needs to be called to the men's conference. We pinch him a little bit. You understand? So now, if you start telling your son, "Oh, buju, go and pick something from the handbag," then he gets all those funny things and starts seeing all those things. No, let the son go to wash the car with the father. Let the son go to the barber shop with the father and see grown men with being shaved. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's not that they were born gay, they were inculcated by these things. Now let me ask you, if you found your son putting lipstick, would you be like, "Oh, daddy"? No, you'll say, "No, stop it. That's for women."
Yeah, let me make you laugh. The other day I was out and then I came back home. I put my clutch bag down. So my son picked it up. I ran after him so fast. Wait, is my handbag done?
Exactly.
And I sent my sister the photo. Yo, look at Otheri. What is he doing? And I told him, oh my God, would he become even a gay boy? It was a joke, of course.
Yes.
And I thought, oh my God. So I was very quick to just...
That's it. That's it. Nobody. And let me tell you, I don't hate anybody.
Yeah, of course.
Not at all.
Yeah.
But I will not look at anybody and tell them, "Oh, you are born gay. It was God's plan." No. God created male and female. Nobody else created a human being apart from God. So God's order is perfect. I know people say I was born gay. I heard of a very popular gospel musician who is now straight. He went into homosexuality because he was raped by his uncle. So by God's mercy and people around him, he was prayed out of it, guided out of it. So we have to be very careful. That's why these sleepovers, that's where people are introduced to some nonsense.
Yeah,
you understand?
sleepovers are bad
But I want to look at every person in the LGBTQ plus. You see, that plus means they're thinking about other things.
Yeah.
So it's not something that was born. It's boardrooms that are deciding.
Yeah, I think Dave Chappelle always says...
Yeah, that plus.
Plus, yeah.
They're thinking about other things. So I will tell anybody struggling in the LGBTQ plus community, you are not born gay, you are not born lesbian. Let nobody lie to you. Let no government lie to you. You are not born gay. Just come back. If you're a man, don't try and help women to be women. We can't have men wearing pink underwear and saying, "Oh, you said that in my presence as a lawyer man."
Yeah.
I'll tell you, sit down. So we love everybody. and let me tell you, God's grace is sufficient.
Okay.
God's grace is sufficient. I mean, you become a lesbian, you're denying somebody else a wife. There's a man somewhere praying for a woman like you, but you're answering another woman's prayer.
But what if since you were born in primary school, you've never had any attraction to a man or a woman? You just I would see a woman and I'm like, oh my God, my heart is starting to pump. I feel so much attraction. Where does that come from?
To the same sex?
Yeah.
How they were raised up.
I disagree, but to each their own.
I know, but the Bible is clear.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
But listen, I think in the Bible as well, there are instances where some people were gay. Who didn't know who, but they were
now
gay.
what happens?
And I think, last week I saw, is it Abraham Lincoln?
Mm-hmm.
He done some letters and then he had these relations with men.
Mm-hmm.
So why? And I always feel like people sometimes, for people who are not born gay, this is my own version.
Right.
For guys who are not born gay, people who get into it when they're older, I think they've done everything. You've done the women, the drugs, the alcohol. Now you want to experiment with, these things. Because I see a lot of married men, they're bisexual,
And women who are lesbians, who are married.
Yeah, but why is there that curiosity?
It's a perversion of society. Yeah? It is what we are seeing on our TikTok and whatever. And that is why the good guys cannot keep quiet. Because when the good guys keep quiet, the bad guys are churning out such knowledge. I told celebrities, when I see a man celebrity, even in this country, and let them hear me. I don't mind to lose some friendships. When you see a celebrity, a man dressing like a woman, they have 5 million followers, 2 million followers. When a 12-year-old boy is seeing a favorite celebrity dressing like a woman, in 4 years' time, that will be normal to him. So these are the things that are informing some of these things that are happening out there. Even in those, I stopped watching Tyler Perry. I stopped.
Because I'm a dear.
Yes, he's a brilliant businessman, created employment, but I'm not going to watch a man, especially a 6-foot man, dressed like a woman.
Yeah, I remember when they had the Cat Williams interview.
Yes.
He went on and said, Hollywood tries to make you dress like a woman.
Because they know what they're doing.
Yeah, and then I think a few months ago, John Cena, he's so masculine.
Yes.
He came out naked.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean,
what the hell?
there is an agenda out there.
Yeah.
And our kids are in danger.
True.
And that's why we must talk.
Yeah.
What I've said now will not be popular with many people. But I wasn't born to win awards. The day I die, may I be counted as those that stood and spoke so that our next generation does not suffer. And we love everybody. We love everybody. But the truth of the matter, nobody was born gay.
Now, the boy child.
Yes.
Let's talk about the boy child. I have a boy and I have a foundation.
Right.
But I've always been more, rather like being more focused on girl. But I feel like now I should switch a bit.
Good.
And do more with boys.
Good.
You know?
Yes.
Tell me what you've done with boys and how are our boys? A few months ago, I read this book. It's called Joan 30th. And the book was called Confessions of Nairobi Men. It's just a crazy, crazy read. You know? So men are talking about...
lady's a very good author.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's fantastic. So she's talking about experiences that men have gone through and they caught me off guard, you know? They were so triggering, so sad. So how is your experience working with boys?
So we do work with boys and men. The boys are crying for an identity.
So boys are from which age to which age?
Just below the age of 16.
Okay.
They're crying for an identity. I saw my father, but I didn't feel my father. That's what they're saying. So we now have fathers who take photos with their sons. And it looks good for Instagram and Facebook and social media. But their sons don't know them beyond those photos. So you get an age group that says, I have not felt my father. Then they say, I have seen my mother in pain, trying to raise us by herself. So we have angry boys who will become angry men who will objectify other people because they are angry. So for the boys, we are trying to give them back their identity. For the grown men, we're just trying to put bandage because there's an age you reach. And you're like, you know what? There's so much damage. We can just try our best to bring you and to open up so that we don't go into depression and suicidal thoughts. So what we're doing, and we're focusing for the next few years, is also now working on the young boys. All right?
Yeah.
That we grow them to be great men instead of trying to fix broken men.
It's easier.
It's much easier. So for the
way
men,
easier, yeah.
when we call for the Men of Valor project meetings, we just want them to open up, to release some of the pain. It adds life into their time on earth. We need to fix those young boys. And many men must go back and take their position. But also there are women who also deny men access to their children for various reasons. Some, of course, deserve to be because of maybe they pose a danger to the children. But where there is maturity on both sides, then raise your children. And I tell men, step up. You may not have the money, but your presence
It's everything.
is more important than the presence,
Yeah.
the gift.
Yeah.
So speak to your son. Let your son say, my father is the one who taught me how to hold the future when you go to the giants. He told me how to shake it and which side it's supposed to lean on to. Do you know young men? We ask them, they don't know. Yet it's a man who's supposed to tell them, by the way, to every man, after you're done with your thing, it has to be on the left. Such small things.
I actually didn't know that.
Yes. Even the men who are right now, if you ask them,
Yeah.
it's already automatically on the left.
Okay.
Yes. Let them say, my father took me to my first haircut. My father taught me how to tie a tie.
Yep.
I love washing cars with my father. But they're not saying that. So you get a man at the age of 10, a boy at the age of 10, he's like a security guard. I want to protect mommy.
Yeah.
I have seen mommy crying too long. And so they're not about them, it's about mommy.
Yeah.
Then when mommy is no longer in the picture and they're grown older, they don't know what to do. Then they will also marry a mommy.
True.
Because they want mommy around them. It's not because they're of anything. It's just those formative years. So we are working on that. And where we're doing something, we are planning something where single mothers of sons, for example, maybe fathers died or some fathers are just careless. So we're going to have a weekend whereby we have men who will adopt sons for the day.
Okay.
Now the mothers will be there.
Okay.
We'll put for them a tent somewhere with manicure and pedicure and all those things. Then we adopt the sons, do a barbecue for them, and we do it together with them. We'll have mobile phone shaving, mobile shavers. We sit and let's have a haircut, and then we wash cars. But the mothers are watching at a distance.
Yeah.
Then we culminate with a football match, where now the mothers come and share their sons' play with the adopted fathers, just trying to bring that back. So we want to do that in every county of this country. And sadly, when we go for sponsorship, corporates tell us, majority, I wish it was a women's thing or a children's thing, would have given you money.
Yeah. But now if you do that great idea that you have,
Right.
And it's brilliant, and now the boy feels, oh, this is what I should be experiencing with my father, does it not cause the baby more distress, not feeling like they're missing out their father's presence?
No, because we'll have talked to them. We have already answered that question because they'll ask that question.
Okay.
Ours is not to make their fathers look bad. Is to...
Not even look bad. What if probably your father died?
Yes. Now we say, because we are like men, we are leaving no man behind.
Okay.
A friend of ours was buried yesterday.
Olena.
And Asante, it's called Job Waka. And we went to see his wife before the burial. And when we walked in, we're in a group called Muscles, just for men. When we walked in, the son says, yes, daddy's friends are here.
That's nice.
And we have promised the mother of the boy, every so often we'll be picking the boy. We go with him, do boy stuff, and then we bring him back. We must fill the gap of the father. But also the men who have just run away from their responsibility, when they see other men stepping up on matters their children, we hope that they will wake up and say, you know what, I'm alive, I need to do something.
Yeah.
And a man's greatest influence on a child is away from the public.
True.
I wish you would understand that in this digital era. Yes, we can take photos and we look good and family photos and I've seen, but the greatest influence is in the house, is in those meetings, is in saying, son, let's pray before you sleep.
Yeah.
Daughter, let's pray before you sleep.
Yeah.
So we want to raise men like that.
But what's ailing Nairobi men?
Wow. What's ailing Nairobi men?
Yeah.
No, I think it's both men and women.
Nairobi, let's talk about men.
Okay.
The modern Nairobi man. What's ailing our men?
Upbringing to some extent. Upbringing. We are at an age where we look mature, but our hearts are still in pain. So we have to forgive. I did a men's conference in Atlanta, Kenyan men. A 78-year-old man asked me, can you give me a hug? I'm like, bro, what do you mean can I give you a hug? In this day and age, you know? He says, my father never gave me a hug. So I told all the men in that meeting to come. And we hugged that man. And he cried like a baby. So what am I saying? Heal the man. When the man takes his place, society will be safe. But there are also these crazy men who just want to go out and sleep around and do all this nonsense. We also have to call them to order. Just like ladies as well, some.
But I feel like there's a culture of, you go to work and then on Friday evening, it's standard.
Go out.
Yeah.
That has to end.
Is it going to end?
Not in the near future, sadly. And that is why, your son and the men older than him, those are the ones who will change the narrative. Now, this is the culture. In fact, the form of success is being seen around a bar and having beers with your boys or the girls, meeting by the poolside in a 5-star restaurant, and the children are dying at home in emptiness. So it's your son and his age group that will have to inculcate the values. We are not doing these things for ourselves.
True.
It's for them.
Yeah, for them.
By the time we are seeing this manifestation, some of us may not have been there to see. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You also talk about marriage. What's
Right.
ailing our marriages?
What's ailing our marriage is because we marry to take care of the sexual itch. And after some time, sex becomes routine.
But that's in the Bible, no?
No, sex is not the main reason for marriage.
It's a big part
It's a part of marriage. But if that is the main thing, if two people marry primarily for sex, guess what happens?
Yeah, it can work, yeah.
Purpose brings people together. Purpose and not falling in love. Because I don't believe in that.
That's interesting. I'm a big believer in love. I love love.
Love is good. I believe in love. I don't believe in falling in love.
Okay.
You are intentional into loving somebody.
True.
You don't wake up feeling like you're in love with the person every day, but you're intentional in loving that person. And if you are intentional in loving that person, there are things you'll not want to do to hurt that person. You understand? So we tell men, this I can say, there's some things I can never say because some of the things are the bro code. But we tell men, you can go and sleep with 50 women. None is gold plated. Just love that one woman and you're okay. Yeah.
But you always have the need, you want more and more and more.
And then after getting it, you realize, okay,
Yeah.
so. And also, this is a story for another day. There's something called soul ties.
True.
That when those spirits enter somebody, you have to satisfy those spirits. And guess what? They never get satisfied. Then you get into a place now where it becomes sleeping around, and then you enter the era of perversion. To a place where people now will sleep with animals.
Yeah.
When I see young men coming, I'm struggling with pornography, masturbation, and then I'm sleeping with this one, but I feel like I want to do this, and I'm like, if you don't stop it, you'll start doing crazy things out there, and you will need deliverance and help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I always feel marriages don't work because people don't want accountability, responsibility, but then again, you want to be a wife, you want to be a husband. So if you don't become intentional on building what you already have, of course, it's going to fail.
That's the key word. Be intentional.
Yeah.
Just be intentional. If you're not ready to get married, do whatever you're doing out there.
Yeah.
When you want to get married and settle down, now settle down. But entering into a marriage and still want to live as if you're not married, then that's a problem. Yeah. That's why many people are hurting, marriages are breaking, And when I think about myself, when I enter into marriage, I'll be crazily intentional. It doesn't mean you will not see other people out there who look beautiful. You'll be like, oh, okay. But between your eyes and the target, in between is your power of decision making. You understand what I'm saying? Just say, you know what? I have somebody I'm intentionally loving. And I choose. Nobody should ever lie to you that they are married, they have never seen a more beautiful person than their wife.
They become blind.
No, it's a lie from the pits of hell.
It is, yeah.
But it's just because I'm intentional and I want to honor the covenant that we have, that I just say, okay, you know what? This is it.
Yeah.
Ni sisi tuko, hakuna pali tunaenda.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think are the importance of values and beliefs in a relationship when two people come together?
It's a bedrock.
It is, right?
It is a bedrock. You should have a deal breaker. Says, this one I cannot accept. I can work with this one because it's your weakness or it's a struggle.
Yeah.
But when you go to this level, I cannot. I would rather say, okay, fine, I'm done. Every human being, in whatever they do, whether it's marriage or the workplace, I will not compromise on these 3 or 4 core values. And once you know that, nobody will mess around with you. You can't, every person, and I hope you'll write now 3 values that it doesn't matter even if it's who, you will not compromise. Yeah. If you work with your values, you will live to be a happy person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Now, we were supposed to talk about no work. And I think I think we've spoken a lot. I mean, but of course, it's work and it's not
Yes,
work.
yes,
It's
yes,
a
yes,
mixture.
yes,
It's a
yes.
blend. But what do you do when you're not working?
I play
That I
golf.
said at the beginning, I'm not very keen on working. I've worked for many years,
Yeah.
and I've enjoyed working, but I always feel there's so much more to us than just working, you know? And that's why I like people who are able to just up and leave and travel the world, and if with kids, their families, you know, just hop up around the globe. So if I'm able to do that with my life, I'd be a very happy girl, you know, not just stay in Kenya here and work. I love Kenya. I wouldn't live anywhere else.
Yes.
Just go and come back.
Of course,
come back.
yes,
You know,
yes.
the freedom, that flexibility of not bound here by work.
Right.
So what do you do when you're not working?
When I'm not working, I play golf.
Okay.
I love golf.
I like golf.
You play golf?
I can play, but I don't have a handicap. But
it's okay.
But I can play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love golf.
Okay.
I
What's your handicap?
27.
Okay.
Yeah. And I want it there. I don't want to go anywhere further. I want it there.
Why?
It works out well sometimes.
Okay.
When you're in some tournaments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No pressure?
No pressure. No pressure.
Yeah.
So I love playing golf. I watch movies. Interestingly, I love cooking.
What kind of movies?
I love no horror, comedy, thriller, detective series, and love.
Okay.
Yeah. I love cooking. When I have time, I cook.
Cooking what? You know, Kikuyu we pick
No, Kikuyu just...
mashakura.
You pick things like this, you close your eyes,
Then just
and then you throw them like
Yeah.
that. And then you put a lot of water. No, I'm a Luya man, so I like...
like cuisine, you make cuisine.
Oh, no,
different.
just nice ugali and chicken, rice, eggs.
Yeah.
I just love cooking.
Okay.
Yeah. Not an array of things, but I like cooking. So I spend a lot of time with myself, if that makes sense. I would just chill in my house or in my compound and just gaze at the beauty of life. I love that.
Yeah.
Thankfully, in my compound, I have many trees around the house. So I just sit and take it easy. There's a time I sat outside my compound, interestingly, until 3 a.m. With my nice portable speaker, I was listening to music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The power of solitude.
Yes.
Do you meditate?
On the word of God, yes. I don't do yoga. I don't think yoga is good.
Why?
No.
Why?
Anything that tells you to clear your mind.
No, I think what they say about meditation, we have the wrong notion of you're supposed to clear your mind.
So what are you
and
meditating on?
that's not it. You should, because of course, if you try to clear your mind, it's not going to work.
Right.
So meditating is just you being present. Like I'm here, I'm present. That mean I'm not looking at you, I'm looking at the camera person, looking at the ball, the lights. But I'm here present, absorbing everything. That's meditation.
What is everything?
My surrounding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not about clearing your mind. It's just being
That sounds good.
But
But
just being still.
But you know, there's another meditation that is not good.
Maybe for the monks.
Yeah, but also
But I think even the monks, they say you cannot clear your mind. You cannot. It's not possible to just go blank.
there's some yoga that is not of God. It's not good.
Tell me more.
That's a story of another day. It's when they say clear, start thinking about what they did to you when you're 3 years old. Then anger comes in and pain comes in, and then it opens some doors for some spirits to come in. And some places that these yoga places, some are altars. Even when you go to the place, you just feel some funny presence.
Okay.
Yeah. The energy. You see, what did I say when I walked into this place? Very peaceful. That's the first thing I said.
That's what you said, yeah.
I pick such things. I really do pick such things. And there are places when you enter, to be honest, they're not good. The energy, you just feel there's another presence. You know, the people who at night you'd feel there's a presence in the room. There's a time I went through a lot of spiritual attacks and I would feel a presence and it was not a good presence. Oh my God. And you open your eyes, you feel the presence, and immediately you feel some action. Like they're pressing you down, and it's a spirit.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? You know, sometimes people who are watching at night, you can't even move your body. You're trying to move and you can't. And the biologists lie to us, the scientists, that that's the time you're growing taller. Surely we'd have giants in this country and the world.
I thought we have a giant came up last week.
But somebody's saying, where have they come from, by the way? What's his history? Are there any photos when he was young?
I haven't followed up that
I heard
story.
Mwambogo saying something that really made me think.
Yeah.
But So every place is governed by a spirit.
Okay.
Now the question is, which spirit is governing that place? Yeah.
I'm always very curious about, when people I don't believe in therapy. It works for some people, which is fine. But I'm always very curious, and probably one day I'll try to be hypnotized.
Oh, no, don't try.
I'm so curious.
I'm glad you don't believe in it. Don't try it.
No, therapy. I don't believe in therapy of talking about your issues, because I believe we have majority of our answers within ourselves. But now, when you're hypnotized, I'm always so curious, and I want to record the session, and then I see where I go and
How
how
they've
I
taken
react.
over.
Yeah,
No, why would somebody else take over your life?
that's the thing I'd want to
Please
experience.
don't. Please don't.
Why
Because
not?
they're using alternative spirits. We want you here fully.
No, I'll come back.
No. But you don't know what has happened in that 30 seconds you're not there. Yeah. It's like leaving your house open with your son in there for 30 seconds. You'll be worried. Is he okay?
Yeah.
Don't open that door, and you cannot account for the 30 seconds to 1 minute. Never.
I can't say never.
I will pray for you.
Yeah.
I will pray.
Now,
that you
there's a
don't-
thing I've picked up since I've had a baby now. If my baby does not like you, I don't like you. If I get a house girl, the day back comes and baby is not smiling with you, he doesn't want to play with you, I'm not going to work with you. Because I believe they detect good spirits.
I think I agree with you on
Yeah.
that one. I would support you on that one.
Yeah.
Because the truth of the matter, the house managers you're getting are not for you. They're for your son, largely. And if they cannot get along, there's no point of making your son grow up a very angry child.
True.
Yeah. So I totally agree with you on that one. Yeah.
Now, dreams. I love dreams, and I usually like to interpret my dreams.
Right.
Some are so bad because you're so bad. They're horrid. You're like,
Yes.
oh my God, am I going to die the next minute? But some are so good. What do you think about dreams?
Dreams are also ways of God communicating to us. Some
Okay.
dreams are from God, some are not from God, and some are from eating too much.
Eating late.
Yes.
Eating meat specifically,
Yes.
yeah.
But there are dreams that the Lord will show you. There's a time I dreamt with my father and my late brother. And I really rebuked them in that dream. I came at them. They came to my house in a black car. And they were telling me, come, you're getting late, let's go. And I was going to enter the car. And then I told them, hang on a minute, I've forgotten something. And I ran back to my house. When I came out, the road left, and I saw them waving like, we waited for you for too long.
Yeah.
And I knew that was not a good dream.
Okay.
Why am I being put in a black car by two people who are dead? Where are they taking me?
Wataka twende wapi?
Yeah. So I actually canceled my plans that day. And I prayed that whole night, canceling any spirit of death. Yeah. So dreams are very profound.
Yeah, when you say like you're praying the whole night, how does that happen? I think my prayers are usually very short.
The most important is how genuine your prayers are.
Okay.
Yeah. Some people can pray for 5 hours, but they're just showing off. But yes, pray without ceasing. I've prayed a whole night. I've prayed for days when I go to a prayer center. And just a time of prayer and fasting. Because in the prayer center, there's no food. Yeah. Prayer is so powerful.
Yeah.
Prayer protects you from things that you do not know. Prayer makes God give you ideas, or maybe you hear clearly. Fasting breaks your flesh into hearing what God wants for you. Yeah. But you have to be very careful. There's a time I fasted for 21 days, and it was scary because the enemy is also attacking you and telling you things. You start seeing things you're not supposed to be seeing.
Just because you're hungry.
No.
It's just because you're hungry. That's
Fasting is so...
You're hallucinating.
No. Fasting is so spiritual. You start seeing things and hearing things that can give you direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one day you do 3 days.
I've never fasted a day in my life.
Try. So what you're going to do...
I don't know how to... I don't eat like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I could probably do 1 meal a day. But I've never gone... Maybe when I had probably my tooth extracted.
No, that's the discipline of diet. I'm talking about the discipline of fasting.
I've never fasted.
So one of these days, just fast from 6 to 6. Right?
No, I can do that.
Yeah, but...
Is there water in between?
You can take water.
Okay.
No leaving the house. Just study the word and pray.
My prayers are very short.
No, trust me. Slowly but surely, you start having a very deep spiritual encounter. Try 1 day.
I believe
try
that.
2
I believe
days,
that.
1 day do 40 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that would be interesting. Now, I love Kenya.
Yes,
But I
so
always
do I.
feel, yeah, we all do, but I always feel like sometimes, and it's probably specifically now we are going the wrong direction. Flights are not taking off because somebody made a shady deal somewhere. But I'm so happy that people are speaking up about things that are going on in our country. We're no
Yes.
longer silent.
Right.
What do you have to say about that?
I'm glad that the citizenry are speaking now. We are putting our politicians and leaders in check. Gone are the days that you just do things and get away with it.
Yeah.
So we have been more aware thanks to the social media space.
Yeah.
Information gets out very quickly. You know, it is sad that what I saw at that airport, there was a mess after midnight. Sad but good. It's what we call the price that we have to pay.
True, true.
So that the powers that be
Yeah.
make sure they don't do anything that will put us in that situation again. Because you can imagine no flights taking off from midnight. What does that do with the international partners? What does that do with the rating of our airport? So they will not want to mess about. So I'm glad that we're talking up. As long as, of course, whatever we say is within the parameters of respect, not insulting people. But we have to stand firm. But not, my heart broke, to be honest, when you insult the person of the president, yet he carries the authority of the presidency. You don't abuse him, but you can be firm and say, this one you are doing wrong.
Yeah.
I would disagree if my father was alive with him, but I would not abuse him or use vulgar words in addressing him because he sits in the office of my father.
Yeah.
Even
There's
if
also the aspect of respecting the office.
The office,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
But also the leaders now, and this to all political leaders. Yes, we respect the office, presidency, deputy president, CSs, whatever, but also respect your office as individuals.
True. Do you have a mantra you live by? A daily mantra?
Yes, I borrowed it from Lewis Hamilton.
Will still we rise?
Still I rise, yes.
So do you enjoy Formula One?
No, I think it's the most useless sport.
No, it's not. I love Formula
Chris
One.
Kirwa, Alovi, those are my friends who love Formula One. Wahome Anthony, I think it's the
I
most...
love Formula One, but the last 2 years have been so heartbreaking because Hamilton is not winning.
Can I be honest?
Okay.
You seem to understand it better. But some of the people I see attending those functions have no idea what Formula One is about. It's just an outing for them.
Of course, if you don't know the background.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
But the last 2 years
which
has been so
tough,
sad for Mercedes because he's not winning.
I think it's because he's become more of a celebrity than a sportsman.
No, he has a bad car.
No.
It's a car.
He has become more of a celebrity out there.
But you see, let me tell you, he said, and he does fashion, he does music.
That's where it's going wrong.
No, you can't be one thing in this life. You have to be many things.
Yeah, but the Bible says the one thing that I do.
No, he just has a bad car.
No.
That's it.
I'm a Manchester United fan. We can give excuses here. But the truth of the matter, yes, you can do other things, but when they take control and compete with your main thing, you will lose your main thing.
No, I disagree.
You just love Hamilton. So still we rise.
Still we rise,
So it's still I rise.
Okay.
Because I've been through instances where I've gone down, but still I rise. I've been instances where people have tried to keep me down, but still I rise. The joys and the pains of being a public figure in Kenya should be in the movie or the series 1,000 Ways to Die.
I agree.
People can just decide because you're a public figure, they will insult you and say crazy things.
True.
Because they know we are not supposed to fight back.
You're not supposed to react.
Yes. No, but one day.
You will, eh?
Oh, yeah. They're kwa Kiswahili wanasema umekuja sana. Yeah.
Too much.
There comes a time you just show people, you know what?
Yeah.
Yes, I will respect myself, but you'll feel like a hit here when you pass here. Yeah.
I agree.
So still, I rise.
You rise, eh?
Yeah.
Now, the world is ending the next 2 minutes. How do you check out?
In the next 2 minutes.
Even a minute, 60 seconds, countdown.
I ran the race. I fought a good fight. What awaits me is my crown from my Father. And those would be my last words.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
That's
I ran
good.
my race. I fought a good fight. Now awaits me a crown of righteousness.
Yeah. What do you want to return on your, what do you call it, the epi, the one at the cemetery? What do you want to return there?
He died empty.
Okay. Do people know that?
That what?
That should be written on your stone?
Yes.
Somebody knows that.
Because the coffin does not like heavy people. When I mean heavy, not heavy in weight.
Yeah.
I must deposit. Every book that I have to write, I will write. Every sermon I have
Exhaust
to preach.
everything.
Every man or woman I have to mentor, I will mentor.
Yeah.
The day God calls me home, and it's not anytime soon, I will die empty, like Miles Monroe.
Do you fear death?
No, because I live in Christ. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's good.
I know I'm not dying soon.
Yeah.
I have until 102.
102.
I live to 102.
Doing what?
Depositing. I kid you not.
That's too long.
No.
80 is good.
Bible says with long life. 80.
Yeah.
80
Okay,
will still be...
maybe 90.
No.
90.
No. Bible says with long life I will satisfy you.
Question. I was supposed to wind up, but a question. I'm always... I love the way the West, they have these nursing homes for old people.
Right.
But I wonder how it would do in Kenya, in Africa. Do you feel like you're throwing away your parents to be catered for by other people?
The truth of the matter, I would never take my mother to a nursing home.
Why not? Probably they're in the village alone.
Well, I'll bring her to my house then.
You have 10 kids.
Okay, I only have one.
So for example, you have kids and
those 10 kids,
you're not able to support the family. Your mother is here. They don't get along with your wife.
Who doesn't get along with my wife?
I'm just saying it's
like a mother,
scenario.
yes.
Yeah, the mother-in-law, the whole thing.
Number one, if I have 10 kids, they better work in shifts to take care of their grandmother.
The young kids starting out, but now your mother is old. Yeah,
I would never take my mother to. I think it's also there's a time to do that. Europe is so busy, the West is so busy, but there's something about the African culture that I think the world should copy. That we still honor our parents. I cannot be going to visit a parent as if I'm going to visit some doctor. Visiting us at 3, I'm calling her, your patient has not taken medicine. No. I do believe there's some things about the African culture that the Americans and Europe should copy. Honoring our parents. Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad idea. You know?
Why are we doing? They're not sick?
No, when they're old, you know, and they need full-time care.
God will give us the grace to do that. Because let me tell you, the parental blessing, oh my God.
But it's already there. It doesn't mean you're not going to see them.
Imagine your father or mother wasn't sick, but somebody else's son will call you and say they have gone to be with the Lord. And they were not sick in a hospital. You just took them somewhere to pay money for them to be taken care of. I would not do that. I would not advise anybody to take their parents who is not unwell to a nursing home. Stay with them. They took care of you when you were young. Take care of them when they're old.
But very, very old.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
If my mother lived to 200 years, I'll be with her in my house.
Okay.
I kid you not, Lillian.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
If my father was alive today, he lived another 100 years, with his teeth falling off, I would want to see him.
You want to see him?
Just,
like how the Indians do it. They live together, all together.
He would stretch his hand on his last days and place it on my hand or my head. His voice may be gone, but I know there's a blessing.
The blessings,
put there.
Yeah.
Instead of him blessing somebody who had gone on a shift, who didn't even feel like going to work in the nursing home that evening.
Yeah.
No.
But they have a social life there. It's well put together. They have this
If
community.
you ask most of those people in nursing homes, would you rather be here or with your children? They'll say with your children and their grandchildren.
Okay.
The first world has become so mechanical.
Yeah.
It's too mechanical.
People are too busy.
That
They're working too much.
You open a fridge and the firstborn has written, "These are my eggs. This is my bacon. Do not touch." What nonsense is that?
And the bedroom is out of bounds.
Oh, okay, that's okay because somebody, young girl, teenager, but don't touch my eggs. Don't touch this. So you what? No. As you are growing up, whichever egg is available, especially Luya family, you more.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? We eat as one. This is my whatever. That is the life from the pits of hell. That is why Africa has family values. Do you know Africa has family values? In this interview, you already spoke about your father. If somebody else in the first world would have forgotten, they would say off camera, "Oh, by the way, I didn't talk about my father." Family values. Let me ask you a question. When you're growing up, your mother cleaned your diapers.
Nappies.
Your ninis natok nappies, yes, yeah. Sorry. With that capin. The makamasi is coming out. Makamasi is French for mucus. It's coming out, and they would even use their hands. Clean you. Honestly. We laugh at the wrinkles on our parents' faces. The scars. Yet those wrinkles and scars are the reason we have a smooth face. They cleared the way for us. Oh, I'm sending M-Pesa to the village. They don't want your M-Pesa. It helps.
Yeah.
For me, 2 weeks ago, I flew my mom to Nairobi. We spent time, 4 days just with her, with my siblings and her grandchildren. She came to my place and we had a great time. She got back to Busia. I told her, Mom, I need you back. And then we also planned to go to Busia. Not anybody's children's home, nursing home.
Yeah.
No.
What about the issue of black tax in Africa?
People, so I think I look at it differently. Of course, some families take advantage. But I just look at it that, you know what? God has blessed somebody to be able to help the others. I look at it that way. That, you know what? If God has blessed you, be a blessing to others.
But what about the entitlement?
That's now where the problem comes in. When somebody feels entitled, then I tell them, you know what? Even here, heaven will support me. You help within the parameters of reason and not help to a point they become dependent. Just say, I'm standing with you here. But you get an uncle calling you, before your father died, I was the one who made sure I went to school. I said, no.
Yeah.
Talk to him then. Me, I'm supporting you just to help you, but don't feel entitled.
Yeah.
I think that's, and my friend Benjamin Zul deals with that very clearly.
Yeah. What about, we should be ending, but what about how pastors are entitled to tithe?
Are we entitled to tithe?
Some are like, kuja kwekeni hapa pesa, just put money, I only take 1,000 shillings, msieke 200,
No, anybody who says, who chase you away because you gave 200 shillings is not of God. The Bible says even the woman that, Jesus says to this, even the woman that gave 2 cents has given more than you. Somebody has given sacrificially. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We give unto God. But when a pastor tells you, this is now for 10,000 people, 1,500.
Yeah.
No, run away from that kind of person.
Yeah,
you give as the Lord leads you, not as the mouth speaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a time when I was at a function and then there was somebody who was preaching. So when it came to the section to
give,
to put money in the basket, they started saying, if you don't give above 1,000, you like the Black Sea and something. So I was going to give 1,000 shillings. I even actually put it back in my pocket.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm not going to give
Fantastic.
you anything,
That
I
is,
thought, what are you talking about? It's so far-fetched.
That is a madman.
Yeah.
Or a mad woman. I don't know who it was.
Yeah.
I don't want to know who it was. But never tell people what to give.
Yeah.
It's the Lord that gives a cheer. He loves a cheerful giver.
True.
Somebody may give 100 shillings and all they had in their pocket was 120 shillings. Another person would give 1,000 shillings and they have 1 billion shillings in their account. Somebody has given 100 being out of sacrifice and saying, God, I give this as a seed. I'm trusting you for something. And then you break them by telling them, take back that 100 shillings. That is a mad person.
Yeah, it's so interesting because there's somebody I know, I just found out they had cancer. They have cancer currently, stage 4. And they're very busy. They're working, wherever they're working, they make money, but they take half their money to this pastor. So as a pastor, why would you accept that money and you're not going to heal this person? She's dying. It's cancer stage 4.
But
so why would you take
if she's giving not out of coercion, maybe she has her revelation of telling God, I will give.
Okay.
But not to buy treatment. You can never buy treatment. You can never buy the grace of God. I'm giving because, God, I'm using this physical thing or physical act to speak of my faith in the spirit. And as I give, maybe she's also giving because she knows her time is not much to be a blessing to the ministry. But not of course. Any pastor who says, give me this amount of money, you'll be healed, that's a liar.
That's a liar, yeah? This has been so interesting, very captivating.
Thank
and asante sana for coming.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be seeing you around.
To this beautiful place.
Yeah.
And no hypnotizing you. No,
I'll try it.
No yoga. I'll send you my books. What else have you agreed?
So yoga, I like yoga, the hot yoga.
I don't know what that
The
is.
Bikram yoga, you're in a steam room and then you're doing yoga. Nothing crazy, but just very sweaty. It's nice. Just stretching.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will study more. For next time when I come back. I may come back with answers. And nobody's born gay.
I disagree. Okay. Nice to have you. We'll be seeing you around.
Thank you very much. Thank
Good.
you.
All right. Thank you.